4 meritorious promotions in 1 year, Bob achieved the rank of Sergeant E5 and finished first in all 3 schools he attended: the Marine Corps Admin School, NCO Leadership School, and U.S. Naval Justice School in Newport, Rhode Island. He received the prestigious Admirable Calclough Award presented by the Massachusetts Congressman Philip Philbin. He qualified as an expert with the M16 rifle, shooting the highest score on qualifying day, and became a candidate for sniper school. Upon discharge, Bob was awarded a letter of commendation from the Marine Corps. Bob was offered an appointment to the U.S. Naval Prep School and U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland. Few know that Bob plays piano, harmonica, guitar, and has his own band, Out of Sight, where he sings and plays drums. Truly an American Marine.
Ethnicity, nationality. Everybody has an ethnicity and a nationality. What does that mean? Ethnicity and nationality refer to a social group that has a distinctive culture, a distinctive history, a distinctive language. And once you're born into an ethnicity, you keep the title of that ethnicity with you for life. For example, if you're born French, you're French for life. If you're born German, your ethnicity or nationality is German for life. If you're born Italian, you're Italian for life. If you're born Russian, you're born Russian, you're Russian for life. There are 195 nations in the world, so there are 195 nationalities, 195 countries. All those nations have flags. And my mother was born in Nogales, Mexico. She was a Mexican woman, so I'm Mexican. She was a very proud Mexican woman. She used to read to me Mexican history about the land that is now Mexico. It was known as New Spain. Spain had colonized it. They called it New Spain. And the people in New Spain eventually wanted their independence. There was a great man named Miguel Hidalgo who led a revolt against Spain. They won their independence and created the country of Mexico. My mother was so proud of that. She used to tell me stories about men that died in that revolt, in that revolution, to gain their independence. In our house, we had a Mexican flag, red, white, and green. Next to it, a picture of Miguel Hidalgo. I was a proud Mexican all through elementary school and high school. And then I went to UCLA and I wanted to join a fraternity, a Mexican fraternity. So I went to apply. I'm there at the fraternity house, filling out an application. Up in the left-hand corner, it calls for nationality, ethnicity. The name Mexican is not there. I said to the fraternity brother, excuse me, brother, somebody's made a mistake here. It does, under this list of ethnicities, nationalities, it doesn't list Mexican. And he said, that's old school, bro. What do you mean that's old school? We aren't called Mexican anymore. And I said, what do you mean, white man? What do you mean, we? You know, I'm a proud Mexican. What are we called? He said, Chicano. Chicano. How do you spell that? C-H-I-C-A-N-O, Chicano. Who came up with that? Nobody asked me. Who came up with that? Oh, it's the Bureau of the Census. 32 men that belong to an advisory council in Washington, D.C., and a director. Those 33 decide what ethnic groups are going to be called. Wait a minute. These are white guys? Yeah. And they're old? So 33 old white guys tell me that I can't be a proud Mexican anymore. I got to be a Chicano? Yes. You know what that sounds like? Chicano sounds like an illegal alien from Chicago. A Chicano. Yeah. Oh, let me ask you this. A Chicano man marries a Chicano woman. They have children. What do they call them? Chiclets? No, they call them Chicano children. Oh, you know what? I got to get out of here. Let me finish this interview. I left there, went home, called my shrink. Made an emergency appointment. Had to see my shrink. Walking to the door of my shrink's office, he said, "Oh, Bob, you look troubled. Come sit down." So I went and sat down. He said, "What's the trouble? What's your problem?" He said, "Well, you know I'm at UCLA. You know how I'm a proud Mexican, and you've been seeing me for quite a..." "Yes, I know, Bob. I know. Tell me what the problem is." I said, "Well, I went to join a fraternity. I'm filling out the application form, and they tell me that I'm no longer Mexican. I'm Chicano." "Oh, yes, I know, Bob." "You knew about this?" "Yes." "How'd you know?" "It's a published report, the Bureau of the Census." "Yeah, there you go again, Bureau of the Census." "Yeah, they determined that your demographic designation is now going..." Demographic designation, those are big words. Well, that's going to be your demographic designation, hard to say, from now on. You're going to be a Chicano. But this is what I advise you to do. First of all, you show extreme anxiety. I'm going to prescribe something for you. I'm going to give you some Valium. Yeah, take what is needed. Okay. Now, this is what I want you to do, Bob. I want you to go back to UCLA and become the proudest Chicano you can be. Get involved in Chicano politics. There's a Chicano movement going on now that I've heard about. It's a pretty big thing. Get involved. So I said, "Okay, Doc, I'm going to become the proudest Chicano I can be." So I went back to UCLA. I became involved. I joined the Brown Berets. They wore these cool hats, look like those hats that those French painters wear. Yeah, brown leather gloves, dressed in brown. Man, I was Chicano of the Month twice. Yeah. So I was a proud Chicano. Man, I was in movements, I sit-ins, protests. I did it all, you know. And so then I graduated with honors. I went to apply for my first job. And I'm filling out the interview form. Up in the upper left-hand corner, nationality, ethnicity. Chicanos nowhere to be found. And I said, "Excuse me, sir, there's a mistake here. Under the listings of ethnicity, nationality, it doesn't list the word Chicano." "Oh, son, you're no longer called Chicanos. Well, what am I called?" "Mexican American." So now Mexican again? No, Mexican American, there's a distinction. But for 4 years, I've been a proud Chicano. "You're Mexican American." Ran home, called my shrink, emergency appointment, come in the door. "Oh, Bob, come over here. Don't sit down, lay down." "Yeah, you better lie down here. This looks really bad." "What is it?" And I told them that they now tell me that I'm a Mexican American, not a Chicano. "Yeah, Bob, this is what you have to do. You have to adapt, you have to accept, you have to evolve. It's just the way it goes." And I asked him again, I said, "Well, who says I'm Mexican American?" He says, the Bureau of the Census. "Oh, those same 33 white guys, old white guys in DC? "Yes." "Okay, all right. So what I want you to do, Bob, just become a proud Mexican American." I did. 4 years later, there's an opening in management, in lower management. I'm going to apply for the job. I'm going to go in for the interview. So I go in for the interview, and I'm filling out the interview form, and there, once again, upper left-hand corner, nationality, ethnicity, it doesn't list Mexican American. And I said, "Oh, there must be some mistake here. It doesn't list Mexican American here as ethnicity." "Oh, you're no longer called Mexican American." "What am I?" "You're Hispanic." Oh, man. I don't speak Hisp. "No, you still speak Spanish." "Who decided?" "Bureau of the Census." Okay, I rush home, call my shrink, go in the door, I say, "Oh, Bob, come over here, sit down. It looks bad. It looks really bad." And I tell him that now I'm Hispanic. "Oh, yeah, I know." "How do you know?" It's been published, the Bureau of the Census." "Okay, all right. This is what I want you to do, Bob. Just become the proudest Hispanic you can be and work your way up in that company." "Okay, Doc. Oh, by the way, I'm going to put you on Paxil." "Okay, all right. So now I'm on Paxil. What's the value of the Paxil?" Okay. So I worked hard, really hard. Proud Hispanic. There's an opening in upper management. All right. I'm there filling out the interview form, and up in the upper left-hand corner, nationality, ethnicity, no Hispanic. I said, there must be some mistake here. It doesn't list Hispanic. Oh, you're no longer called Hispanic. Haven't you heard? What am I? You're Latino. But I don't speak Latin. No, you still speak Spanish. But now I'm Latino? Says who? Bureau of the Census. Those 33 old white guys in D.C.? Yes. Okay, I rushed home, made an appointment with my shrink. Emergency appointment, went in there and told him, hey, doc, they tell me that now I'm, help me out, folks. What was I last? Oh, Latino, that's right. They tell me that now I'm Latino. And he said, yeah, that's true. And I said, who says? He said, Bureau of the Census. Okay, doc. He says, now you're so anxious. I'm going to put you on Xanax, something a little stronger. What I want you to do is just become the best Latino you can be. So I went back and worked at it. I became the best Latino I could be. 4 years pass. There's an opening for vice president. I go and interview for vice president, and I've got the interview form, and it doesn't say Latino. Excuse me, it must be a mistake. It doesn't say Latino here under the ethnicity listing here. Oh, you're no longer Latino. What do you mean? Says who? The Bureau of the Census. Well, what am I now? You're Latinx. Latinx. Latinx? Latinx? What, they run out of vowels? Maybe we should call Pat Sajak and Vanna White by a vowel. What do you think? He says, no, they wanted to make it gender neutral. Oh, gender neutral. So now we're woke. Now we got these old white dudes, woke dudes in D.C. that are telling me what I'm going to be called. Yes, that's true. So I went home, made an appointment with my shrink, went and told him that I'm now Latinx. Yeah, that's true, Bob. The Bureau of the Census. The Bureau of the Census, you know what they are? Doc, I said, what? I said, they're the Bureau of No Common Census. That's what they are. Yeah. All right, so anyway, I tried really hard, worked hard at becoming a proud Latinx, even though I hated the sound of it. One thing I did tell my doctor, I said, I don't even like the sound of it. I'd like to have a choice in what I'm called. And he said, what would you like to be called, Bob? Well, they call me Latinx. Yes, I'd like to be Latin Dos Equis. And he said, you mean like the beer? Yeah, like that cool dude. Remember the cool dude did the commercials? You know, I don't drink beer very often, but when I do, I prefer Dos Equis. Stay thirsty, my friends. That dude? Yeah, I want to be called Dos Equis. Can we do something about that? He said, well, I'll write a letter. I said, okay.